The water here is pouring heavy.
South Africa is experiencing a severe water shortage. You'd think that a water-rich coastal area would be mostly unaffected. But because of the poor quality of water available at the Sunshine Coast, it might as well be a desert. People in the area are battling to deal with this problem.
You can't drink it.
So what water do you use to drink?
I use my tank water. I'm flushing only the toilets with that water because it's too strong.
It's not fine because it's too salty. But we drink it.
Yeah, water is bad. It's black. Can't drink it sour.
Yeah, it's better to buy fresh water or to use rainwater, which we do. And of course, rainwater, you've always got to purify one way and another.
A recent housing development in the area has made the problem more apparent. Ndlambe municipality has realized that in order to adequately service its community and reach its full potential for tourism and development, the water situation must be resolved. Ndlambe has teamed up with Absa Development Company, Absa Devco, and their engineering consultants, Big in Africa, to solve the problem. Their answer is the Albany Water Scheme.
We are positive that the Albany scheme will go ahead. The only outstanding matter at this stage is the licensing from the Department of Water Affairs and Forest, that is DWAF.
This 880 million rand scheme intends on using water from South Africa's major water source, the Orange River. Today, water from the Orange River flows into the Gerib Dam. From there it runs along the Fish River into numerous inland dams, including this, the Glen Melville Dam, just outside of Grahamstown. The proposed Albany Water Scheme will involve constructing a large network of pipes that carry water from Glen Melville Dam to the areas of Ndlambe municipality. This includes Bathurst, Port Alfred, Kenton-on-Sea, Cannon Rocks and Alexandria. Local residents seem positive about the prospects that the scheme brings.
We're gonna get sewage. We're gonna get running water from taps. We're gonna get flushing toilets.
We also met with a local farmer who will benefit from the scheme.
I think the water has been a critical issue for a long time, especially in peak periods like December when all the holiday makers are here. There's obviously going to be more job creation if there's more water available. The housing should be eased. And then they've also said to us along the route that it was a question of ours if we'd be able to tap into that water. And they've assured us that we'll be like any other municipal resident. We can draw off onto the farm, and that I see as a benefit to us.
Although this scheme promises to provide a solution for Ndlambe residents, a scheme of this size is not without its problems. When talking about a scheme with 880 million rand, costs and funding are a major issue. Johan Smuts, chairman of the Bushman's River Ratepayers Association, explains his understanding of how the scheme will be funded.
National government, via the provincial government, have ostensibly agreed to supply 400 million rand, and ABSA have also agreed to supply 400 million rand. Now, anyone knows no bank is going to give money away for nothing.
So the question here is, how will ABSA get their money back? There has been some concern about whether the water tariffs in the area are going to increase considerably. We posed this question to Ndlambe.
There will be a slight increase on the tariffs, but at this stage I cannot tell you as to how much that increase will be. We are currently working on the model now.
Everyone seems to have a different understanding. At this point, we decided to call Koos de Wet of Big in Africa, who provided some interesting insights.
They had to up the rates so that the municipality in itself can be sustainable before the commercial financiers would consider throwing a loan at a project of this size.
While tariffs are a concern for local residents, other players believe bigger problems may arise if the scheme goes ahead.
If everybody continues to think of the Orange River as the source of water for South Africa, it's going to run out very quickly. And that is the basis for Water Affairs' policy of using inland water supplies or availability of water to satisfy inland water requirements and using coastal supplies to satisfy coastal requirements.
Big in Africa disagrees.
We found that there is physically and practically enough water in the system, so the allocations is not accurate.
So we tried to get hold of DWAF, hoping they could give us some answers. We got through to an official that was also corresponding with a local newspaper. Although there were some serious anonymity conditions, we managed to secure an interview. Just days before the interview, an article was published giving an official statement from our source saying DWAF had provisionally deemed the scheme unviable because alternative water sources hadn't been investigated. Shortly afterwards, we received a call from our source saying he was under strict instruction to no longer talk to us. The article also refers to desalination. Bushman's River already has a desalination plant. Smuts feels that this is a feasible option for the entire region.
We've got to look to the sea to get that water. It's an unlimited supply. It's sustainable. There's not a problem.
See, one of the things is that right now reverse osmosis technology is more expensive to produce water. The technology is improving. The cost of the technology is improving.
But are these solutions viable for Ndlambe as a whole? DWAF was refusing to speak to us, so we went to Big in Africa.
We considered 4 to 5 different options, and we obviously first had a look at all of the local sources. We even considered the desalination of seawater as an option. But the cost of treatment is unaffordably high.
We also asked Big in Africa about their progress with DWAF.
We had a meeting with the minister and her officials, where she instructed the officials to give the final written commitment that we require. So it's just a question of sorting it out now with them.
Whilst it seems Big in Africa believes the scheme is definitely going ahead, ABSA, their main funder, has different ideas.
In this particular case, we are still within the feasibility phase, so it's not been commissioned as a project as yet. That's why things are not always just black and white.
So there is clearly some confusion about the scheme. Mega projects like these have to go through careful regulatory processes, but the IWR has some concerns about how the scheme has been dealt with.
There's some questions certainly in my mind about due process of how this has all happened. It all seems to be happening very much in a piecemeal kind of way, almost as if to stop people from actually putting the whole picture together. The EIA hadn't even been submitted, and certainly by then Big in Africa were already advertising for tenders to run the treatment works. And I think even to put in pipelines. And the record of decision hasn't even been issued yet. And that to me just smacks of something not quite right.
Johan Smuts believes only one institution can clarify these issues.
I believe the whole scheme must go back to DWAF. DWAF, a regional water scheme like this, must be driven by DWAF. They are the people with the knowledge, expertise and experience in water business like this.
We tried again to get hold of DWAF and got through to their media liaison, the one person you'd think could speak to the media. Hi Mandy, this is Tasman Foster calling. I spoke to you a bit earlier.
Yes.
I just want to find out if you could talk to me about the Albany water scheme.
Well, madam, I don't know what you want now, because I already told you I'm not in a position to talk on this matter. I'm not a technical person. You must mind.
Yes, but I asked if...
I'm sorry, I won't take it any further.
Put the phone down on me. Without comment from DWAF, it's impossible to tell whether the scheme will be implemented. But water is a basic need, and in the meantime, people in Ndlambe continue to struggle without proper resources on a daily basis.